one of our people had actually wielded a knife in a meeting.
Not a good choice.
And it's like, wait a minute, what? And then I figured out later on, well, he's from Texas, so maybe that's the way they do it in Texas.
Scott Millwood is with us here at the Next Center, which you helped co-found Next and are a huge part of the Greenville ecosystem. You're currently exiting your company, but looking back on your career, some crazy stuff has happened in the startups that you've been around.
Yeah. I mean, you know, all kinds of crazy things that happen over. When you've been around as long as I have, lots of crazy things happen. I remember a time of going into a meeting and being told that one of our people had actually wielded a knife in a meeting.
Not a good choice.
And it's like, wait a minute, what? And then I figured out later on, well, he's from Texas, so maybe that's the way they do it in Texas. But that's one of those kind of scenarios where that guy's got to go.
Yeah.
I was like, as an entrepreneur, you kind of realize, okay, I got to make a change there. And that's not one that you delay on. That's an immediate, like, hey, dude, you're fired.
Yeah, you can't do that, can't handle it. But it is the kind of situation that we bump into, and you have to make a quick decision. We were also talking about it being absorbed by other larger entities, as happens in our entrepreneurial career, and staying on and trying to work through
what
it.
That's like.
You know, talk about that, and you know, maybe a time that got frustrating for you.
I mean, I've been absorbed really wholly once. You know, I got out earlier when we were selling a business, and I got out before we got absorbed fully. But with Customer Effective being absorbed into Hitachi back in 2014, I stayed on as EVP of Global Marketing for about 3 years until I realized, like, you know, that big of an organization just doesn't suit me.
And I hear this all the time from founders who we grow a business, and then the larger corporation comes in and buys the equity, and it is very tempting to stay on and keep running your baby and moving it forward. And there's normally earnouts or things that might tie you to that. But man, it can be frustrating to work for that bigger company.
I mean, for example, you know, the kind of frustration that comes at you on a day-to-day basis, as I was trying to coordinate something as simple as, let's get a single website joined together, you know, all of the different parts of the globe, and have a single message, you know, single brand positioning and all that. And we would sit in these meetings and have these calls, and everybody from each of the different regions and offices would say all the same things, like, yes, we're on board, this is fantastic. And then you find out 30 days later that the UK office has hired a separate marketing firm, and they're rolling up their own website, and they don't want you to find out about it. It's like, wait a minute, this is gonna come out, we're gonna see it. Yeah. So, you know, saying one thing, doing another, just sort of like herding cats.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's always such a challenge because you want to be doing good things, but the big corporate beast is just making it very
as opposed
difficult.
to your own entity, where it's, hey, we're going to do this thing, we're going to put it on a timeline, we're going to roll this thing out, and everybody just kind of gets on board and it's done. So, you know, it's a learning process. It took me 3 years to learn that it wasn't a perfect fit.
Well, now you're a master class in entrepreneurship, so you learned it all. But thank you so much. Thanks for sharing that, Scott. Thanks for watching Entrepreneur Studio. I hope you've learned something today. Please subscribe to the channel so we can keep giving you new business ideas.